5 years ago, we tested the Ferrari Roma, and some of us really loved it. I mean, like, really loved it. Yeah, weird that. Bit unhealthy if you ask me, but whatever floats your boat. Anyway, fast forward a couple of years and Ferrari discontinued their entry-level GT. Sad times. However, the good news is they have replaced it with this.
This is the Ferrari Amalfi. In simple terms, it's a facelifted Roma, although Ferrari won't call it that. According to the Prancing Horse, it's a whole new model, representing the entry level in the company's lineup. It's currently the least expensive, most attainable, easiest to drive Ferrari on the market right now. But is it any good?
The recipe really hasn't changed, has it? But that's no bad thing. It's still a front-engined, rear-drive Ferrari with 2 seats in the front, 2 seats in the back, as long as you're not too big. Same philosophy, same attitude, and from a distance, it looks very similar.
Look more closely though, and you'll spot some changes. The smooth profile of the Roma has been very subtly tweaked to include slight sculpting, primarily in the door area. The back is also reminiscent of the Roma, but it's simpler, cleaner. They've tweaked the shape of the diffuser, which now incorporates the number plate, and included lights that appear slimmer than before. The spoiler, meanwhile, is now integrated into the bodywork and is body-coloured rather than being a separate black unit.
A couple of changes you might find interesting. The wheels. Still got the 5 spokes, however, notice they have these holes, these little cutouts, which not only make the wheels lighter, but they also look much cooler. Guessing it would be pretty tricky to clean. Mind you, if I had an Amalfi, I'm not sure I'd be the one cleaning the spokes.
And speaking of wheels, what's the best way to transform your car's abilities? We think we have the answer. Change the wheels. In our new 4-part series, we're changing the wheels on our BMW Z4 sports car. We're using train wheels to run on train tracks to avoid traffic on the roads, tiny go-kart wheels to improve fun factor and driftability, Formula 1 wheels to improve handling on the track, and giant off-road wheels to take our car anywhere we want. One car, unlimited abilities. Tune into Really Bad Ideas. Click the link in the pop-out banner or find out more in the description below. As for the front, well, that's the easiest way to spot an Amalfi versus a Roma. The Amalfi has a simplified grille rather than the dozens of small rectangular holes as seen in the Roma. It's all been smoothed out.
Look at these headlights. It's very nice. So Ferrari wanted to step away from their cars looking like they had faces, so they added this black bar between the headlights. And this power bulge in the bonnet, that's definitely more subtle than it is in the Roma. Such a good looking car. I don't know which one I prefer. What do you prefer, the Roma or the Amalfi? Let us know in the comments.
You'll also find notable improvements between Amalfi and Roma on the interior. Where the Roma had 2 very distinct passenger and driver areas, almost like a pair of single-seaters, this one feels like one cabin. They've also replaced the vertical display in the centre console with a central display, horizontally oriented. There are other screens too, one for the passenger to show them how many revs you're pulling or what music is playing, in case it wasn't obvious enough.
I also like this centre console because it's flat and not riding diagonally up towards the dashboard. It's much more practical. And check this out. This is a key nook to stash your key. I need a key nook in my life because I'm always losing my keys, and look how cool that looks.
The seats are great too. The leather is soft and smooth. The dashboard has a mixture of materials with some interesting sculpting and detailing. I can guarantee any passenger hopping aboard will be suitably impressed. Well, except maybe the people sitting in the back. The rear seats, just like the Roma, are best reserved for kids or luggage.
Forget all of that though. You want to know the biggest improvement over the Roma? Buttons. Actual, physical, tactile buttons. And remember that virtual start button on the Roma? Gone. Now we have a real button. A red, anodized, aluminium start button. Shall we? Yeah. What you're hearing is the magic ingredient to any Ferrari GT, a V8. This one has a 3.9 litre twin turbo, and what is maybe surprising is that this has no hybrid assistance. It's just an engine. How very quaint.
Ferrari hasn't gone mad by fitting it with electric motors or batteries, and that means power is quite sensible.
Maybe sensible is the wrong word. I mean, it's still a Ferrari at the end of the day. It's still powerful. 640 horsepower to be precise. That is 20 more than the Roma. But if you're comparing it to the 296 GTB with 800 horsepower, it's maybe not quite as scary.
Having said that, it's still very fast.
0 to 62, it's done and dusted in 3.3 seconds, 0 to 125 in 9 seconds, and it'll max out at 200 miles per hour. I mean, they're pretty impressive numbers. You're certainly going to have a pretty good time.
The engine has had a few tweaks, including lighter cams, and they've tried to make the engine more revvy. And actually, it does rev a little higher. The red line is now 7,600 RPM versus the 7,500 RPM in the Roma. If you want to get geeky, you should know that the extra power comes from a new turbo management system, which allows the turbos to spin faster, up to 171,000 RPM, and a new ECU, the same one found in the 296, Pure Sangway, and 12 cylindry.
Power difference isn't huge. Don't expect it to rev quite the same as a Porsche 911 GT3, but it feels good. It's nice and responsive. When you accelerate, it certainly moves. Doesn't sound quite as good as the Ferraris used to sound. Blimmin' noise restrictions, but still, sounds alright.
The gearbox in the Amalfi is rear-mounted to give the car better balance. It's the same as in the Roma, but has been tweaked slightly in order to make better use of the power and torque.
The paddle shifters are outstanding. They feel great to touch, and it's so responsive. Honestly, I think Ferrari make the best gearboxes in the business. You know, you can cruise about in automatic and it feels great, but if you want to use the paddles, it certainly makes your drive a lot more fun.
The brakes in the Amalfi have had a major overhaul. This car features brake-by-wire technology.
In other words, there's no physical connection between the brake pedal and the brakes. It's all done through computers. And actually, when you push the brake pedal, it doesn't move all that much, which might take a little bit of getting used to, but you do get used to it. And the brakes are very responsive.
The Amalfi isn't designed for the racetrack, but it does handle well. The steering, as you'd expect, is fast, responsive and direct. The car changes direction quickly and confidently and feels every bit the Ferrari. Just as important though is how it feels when you aren't pushing hard, trying to improve your lap times.
This is probably the easiest Ferrari you'll ever drive. Honestly, you can just hop into it any day of the week and cruise about. It feels safe, it's smooth, it's quiet, you trust it. There's no stress at all.
Apart from the price, maybe. That might stress you out. It'll set you back around £200,000. And then there's the practicality level. The boot is pretty small, as you'd expect, and those rear seats are really best reserved for kids. But is that a deal breaker? Well, maybe not.
So, what's my verdict of the Ferrari Amalfi? Honestly, I love it. I mean, I don't think it's night and day above the Roma, but there is just something a little bit more to it. I mean, it looks better, arguably. It's easier to use. We love tactile buttons. And I think they've changed just about enough about the way it drives to just tip it over the edge.
Whether the Amalfi deserves a whole new name is up for debate. This could easily have been a Roma facelift. But that aside, this is a wonderful addition to the Ferrari lineup that if you're lucky enough to be able to buy, will put a huge smile on your face.